What is up? No, I'm not gonna do that.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
What is up, Eggy Wegg Nation? I'm your host, Mass, aka Royal Massim Swagger, uh, one
Um.
ninth of Cool Dues, part-time president of the United States.
Yeah. I'm blem. Formerly known as busking for blem.
Yup,
Professional twanger,
yup.
as they call
Professional
it.
British.
Professional British. Yeah. Gizmo
Pretty
loves you.
awesome. Gizmo does love you. Shout out to Gizmo. Anyways, first
So
episode of Eggy
awesome.
Wegg Nation. We're talking about a fun movie for the whole family, honestly. Great family movie, the Beavis and Butthead of the 70s. We're talking
Oh
about
yeah.
A Clockwork Orange.
Yeah. It's one of
What
my
a
favorite
movie.
movies. Uh, Directed by Stanley Dick.
Cube Dick.
Dick.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this movie too. I don't like it as much as you, but I still really love
Yeah.
it. I have it at
I'm
like a
obsessed
9.
with it. I'm
Yeah,
obsessed with
you're a
it.
psych.
I relate so much to the main character.
Yeah,
He's like,
you're a psychopath,
yeah, he's
obviously.
just like me. Yeah, I love
According to
Clockwork Orange.
Letterbox, you are
I relate it to it so much.
Sigma
Um,
Delarge.
Sigma Delarge.
Oh
But
God.
yeah. Clockwork Orange is about basically this guy who's like he's in a gang and he goes around beating and like stealing and like raping.
Yep.
Very nice. And then he's like betrayed by his gang because he was just too much of an asshole. So Alex is like he's put in prison, and then the government puts him under something called the Ludovico technique, which basically robs him of his free will,
Yeah.
and also like destroys like his only like thing he actually likes, which is Beethoven, and I guess his
Yeah.
snake as well, but the snake dies, so it's like whatever. No, Basil.
Not the snake.
And so
Fuck.
and so all of the people who he like mistreats in the first third, they all come back to kick his ass now that
Yeah.
he's defenseless. And yeah, it's like a yeah.
It's a very thought provoking movie.
Oh
It's,
yeah, definitely.
one of the great questions humanity has asked, trying to like fit the punishment to the crime, where we cross the line, where we draw the line, shit like that. So despite how disturbing the movie is, there is a reason for all the horrible stuff that happens in the movie. And ultimately it is like definitely like a thought provoking, like masterfully crafted like film.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I think like almost all the characters, like even if they don't have much to them, they all well except for like the main ones obviously, but
Yeah.
all the characters at least have like um
Right.
different views. Even like minor characters
Yeah.
like the priest. I think he's a
Right.
priest. Who's like
Yeah,
works
he
at the
is.
prison. He's one of like the few people to like talk about how like horrible the Ludovico
Yeah.
technique is and stuff.
Uh-huh. No, that's a really nice like change of pace as well. Because when I first watched the movie, I was kind of expecting them. I don't know about you, but I was kind of expecting them to go a more different route with the priest and have him be more of like an asshole or maybe even like a pedophile or some shit like that. Which is, I think, what a lot of movies would do. But no, here he's actually like a nice person with good intentions, which I really love about this movie. There are other characters with questionable goals, like Alex's doctor. He does some sussy stuff. Like I remember in the conversation, I completely forgot about this until I rewatched. But in the conversation they have, where like they're in Alex's room discussing like his habits and shit, his doctor like gropes his cock like out of nowhere. He just fucking grabs it, and Alex like gets up in pain, and I'm like, holy shit. Like that just came out of absolute nowhere. And there's so many like out of pocket like moments like that in this film that just catch you off guard completely.
Yeah, yeah. There's like a what was I gonna say? Yeah, I think like in terms of like the philosophy behind, I think in terms of the philosophy behind Ludovico treatment and like whether it's morally like right or wrong,
Yeah,
I think I think like one of the really good characters in terms of like how that would affect you is Mr. Alexander, because like in I mean at the beginning of the film he's just like a writer living with his wife, and then Alex
yeah,
and his gang they turn his life upside down. They like
oh
rape
yeah,
his wife who dies, and they like harm him so bad that he's wheelchair bound for the rest of his
yeah,
life. And when Alex sees him, turns up at his doorstep later in the film, and Mr. Alexander can't recognize him because he doesn't have the mask on. He's like initially like sympathetic.
yeah. He wants to help him.
Yeah, he knows about like the Ludovico treatment, and like he's like, oh, what a terrible thing. And even though like part of it is that like he's on the phone later and he's talking about his like writings and like political stuff, and so
Yeah,
he still wants to like use him for political gain. He initially seems like sympathetic, like he makes him
yeah,
food, gives him a bath and
right.
stuff,
Uh huh.
and then
And then
and
he
then
hears singing in the
yeah,
rain.
yeah, the moment he realizes that it's the guy who like completely like destroyed his life, he just
Yeah,
initially go he like instantly goes into like goblin mode
yeah,
and tries to and tries to like terrorize Alex
yeah.
like
Like
as
he
bad
literally
as he
has
can.
PTSD. Uh huh. No, for sure.
Yeah,
And obviously, like at that point, he loses all sympathy for Alex or whatever he had left, anyways. And it's
yeah,
just that scene where like Mr. Alexander like locks him in that room and they're just playing the Ninth Symphony. It's like it's so fucking hard to watch. And like
yeah,
near the end where Alex jumps out the window and the Ninth Symphony is playing, man, oh my god, it's so fucked up. It's so fucked up.
yeah. And that scene has like one of my favorite. I guess we'll talk about how the film looks later, but
Yeah.
has one of my favorite long shots where it's just Mr. Alexander and Julian, who is like his
Oh
bodyguard that he
yeah.
hired, um, and just a couple other people are just like
Yeah.
are like sitting outside in like another room, where the
Yeah.
speakers are playing Beethoven's Ninth, and
Mhm.
he's just like sitting there like twitching and like with
Yeah.
like a huge smile on his face.
Uh huh. Yeah.
It's so weird. His acting is the guy who I'd have to look
Some.
it up who played him, but his actor is like fantastic.
Yeah.
Patrick
No, he's
McGee,
great. Uh huh.
that's who played him.
He does a great fucking job. I love that shot too. It looks like a painting almost in the way it like backs out, and it's one of
Yeah,
those like Kubrick symmetrical shots. There's like quite a few in those in this movie.
yeah,
Like
that
when the prisoners are on their way to the courtyard and it, like zooms out and it's like the hallway. That shit's really cool. I love it a lot.
yeah. The whole like obviously like Kubrick is like famous for his symmetrical shots, and I think A Clockwork Orange might be like the one that uses it the most and the most effectively. It's either A Clockwork
Hmm.
Orange or The Shining.
Yeah.
I'd have to watch The Shining again, but
Same here.
yeah,
Cinematography in this movie is great. It's so good looking.
yeah, it's fantastic. All the lighting is amazing. It's really harsh as well. They
Hmm.
didn't use much studio lighting for they didn't use much studio lighting for the film, and they mostly used
Right.
very wide lenses to let light into the camera, along with like very harsh like artificial lights, which they used
Yeah.
as part of like the production design to make it look all like futuristic and weird.
Yeah. It is a technicolor film, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, early
Okay.
70s.
Yeah. 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 No, it really paid off, and like especially with the small budget they had, they were so resourceful. Like you can tell they did not waste like a single cent or dollar on this fucking movie. Everything's really tuned up nicely, and I especially love like I remember you told me earlier they used very little sets for this movie. It was all done like using real locations. The only sets are what, like the milk bar, and I forget what the other set was,
Um,
but
the hallway and the bathroom in Mr. Alexander's house, they were
yeah, that was
sets.
it.
I
That was
think
it.
I can't remember. One of them was like done in a tent. I think I can't
Really,
remember which one. Yeah, I think it might be the
god
milk
damn,
bar. But
wow.
yeah,
But yeah, they're really nice looking.
yeah. They basically just went through like catalogs trying to find like futuristic looking like buildings to use.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I think
It
it
does pay
worked out.
off.
It worked out great.
Yeah, for sure. Not only do like the sets and like the general locations look good and fit the movie really well, but the casting for this movie was also like spot on. Like I know it's kind of funny because Kubrick said if it wasn't for Malcolm McDowell, like he never would have made the movie. Like if Malcolm McDowell didn't exist, we never would have gone like a Clockwork Orange from Kubrick, which I find so interesting. Like I don't know where Kubrick got the idea from. Like imagine him watching a movie like If and saying, "Yup, this is a rapist. This is the rapist I want for my movie."
To be fair, I've actually seen it. If I don't really like it that
Yeah,
much. But Malcolm McDowell is like easily the best part of the film, and I can like clearly
yeah,
see like how because I think Kubrick was reading A Clockwork Orange at the time, and he knew okay,
yeah.
this might be the kind of thing I want to adapt. And then he
Hmm.
saw If, and I think he just thought, all right, that's my main character.
Yeah, and Malcolm McDowell kills it. Like he does such a good job playing like this monster with like little emotion or human empathy. It's incredible. Like he really does a good job selling the character and making you like afraid of him, especially in the first half of the movie where like Alex is almost always in control. Like not only in control of like his fellow gang members, but also just in general like his home life. His parents are terrified of him. They don't want to talk to him or interfere with his life really. Um, and in
And he's
general, people are
completely
scared to go outside because of his gang.
and he's completely like drugged up the whole time as well.
Yeah, he's off the perk the
He's
entire
off.
movie,
Yeah, he's tripping.
tripping off the milk.
He's quite literally on the like the devil drug that they take at the end of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Oh God.
Like quite literally. What makes it even more impressive is that because obviously it was made like a lot cheaper than his other films, and so and a lot of the expense of like films just comes from like the amount of time shooting and stuff because everyone needs to be
Yeah.
paid and all that and like fees for like locations and stuff. And
Right.
so what they did is that they would let's say they're filming at the house like this Mr. Alexander's house.
Hmm.
They would film they would film one part and then the other. So like they do either they do pre Ludovico Alex and then post
Yeah.
Ludovico Alex.
Oh wow.
They do one then the other. So Malcolm McDowell had to keep switching between the two
Holy
like
shit.
very like different characters basically.
God
Like
damn.
two very different
That must have been
performances.
hard. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah,
That's actually really impressive.
there's an interview with Malcolm McDowell where he said that the first shoot for like the film was when he's like in bed in like I think it in just like in one of the rooms like while he's undergoing when he's like moved to another building for his
Oh yeah.
Ludovico treatment and
Right.
he's in the bed and like
In that room. Yeah.
he's being injected with like the drug
God
like
damn.
for the
Oh yeah, I
Ludovico
remember that one.
treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah, he that was like that was the first shoot basically,
Oh wow.
and
That's so fucking weird.
he had no idea what he was like. He had the actor had no idea if he was doing it correct or not, and then they just played
Hmm.
it back afterwards, and Kubrick was just yes, that's correct, and he
Oh
was just like
wow.
all right, okay, I guess I'll keep doing that, I guess.
That's fucking rare. Usually Kubrick
Yeah,
makes his actors do a million trillion bajillion takes.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I imagine they probably did quite a few, but yeah. He was still like
Oh,
unsure if he
Malcolm
had done it
McDowell's
right,
talented.
and then he was just told after, "Oh yeah, yeah, you
Yeah.
did it. You did well. That's great. On to the next thing." So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's good.
No, like you're right. Like post Ludovico treatment, Alex, and like pre Ludovico treatment, Alex. You have they are like very different characters. Not like he's still a horrible person even after, right? But the he's
The performance is
like
very different, and like
yeah,
his
the
mental
performance is
state.
different. Yeah, exactly. And even though like Alex is still like a terrible person, um, like you still feel bad for him when he's being punished like this, which I think is like a fucking achievement considering how horrible Alex is, especially like in the first third of the movie. And the way Clockwork Orange is like able to make you feel bad for like this rapist is like really incredible.
Yeah, like the film was adapted so that from the book to make Alex more sympathetic. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, it's stuff you can read about it, but there's like you can read about it online, but there's like a lot of things that they changed to make Alex like a lot more like he did a lot more
yeah.
horrible stuff in the book
Oh
than
yeah.
in the film. Like even just like a simple change I'll mention now because I don't think you know Mass. Um, the cat lady in the book is like actually an old woman, and so
Oh,
yeah they changed it for the film because so instead of Alex like murdering like some frail old woman, they changed it to a more like a younger like more
oh
athletic
yeah. Because like she's a
woman.
fitness guru.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she actually puts up a fight with Alex.
Uh huh.
Like she's like swinging
It's more of a
sh
struggle.
yeah, she's like swinging at him, trying to get at him, and then he
Yeah.
ends up yeah murdering her.
With the penis statue.
Yeah, yeah. So that's like a change, like an adaptational change they just made to
Yeah.
make him more sympathetic, so you don't like
Yeah.
yeah
And then another very infamous change is in the book, Alex uh well he doesn't kidnap, but he lures some underage girls to his house and has non-consensual sex with them compared to the movie where it's like they're actually legal and it's like consensual. It's all consensual, which probably has to do with some censorship stuff or Kubrick just didn't want the movie to be that dark. Like you said, he wanted Alex to be a bit more sympathetic. So he just made a funny, like sped up, like like sex montage that can't even be perceived as dark because it's just so fucking goofy looking.
yeah. I think the movie was already like X-rated, so I think Kubrick probably just wanted. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously it helps to make him more sympathetic, but he probably just wanted to just like not make it like too dark. So I think straddles like the line perfectly,
yeah, uh
in
huh.
my opinion.
No, I agree. Because like it could have easily been too much. Like there is already like a rape scene in the movie. Well,
Yeah,
technically two. So I understand why Kubrick would have cut that part out or changed it a bit. Because like three definitely would have been pushing it, especially with like underage girls. Like that would have been a bit too much, even
yeah,
for this fucking movie, which is already disturbing enough as it is. Um.
yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
I do want to
two.
mention though. Oh,
Okay.
continue.
Oh, so you mentioned. Oh, is it like a new topic you want to do or
Yeah,
continuing? Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, and like what you just mentioned, like the sped up sex scene is like
yeah,
is like one of my favorite parts in the film just because of how like ridiculous and funny it is.
yeah. No, for
Like
sure.
there's even like a whole build up where you just you just see like the room they're in like for a little bit before it happens.
Yeah, it's
Especially
great.
when he's walking into the record store and it's so beautiful and they use like a
Yeah.
special like 90-degree lens to capture the whole place
Oh,
and it's
really?
fantastic. Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's
Um,
actually really fucking cool.
yeah, and that scene, that whole scene is like pretty funny, just with the clown
Yeah.
music playing basically, and like the like limp dick lollies.
Oh yeah, those.
Yeah, the yeah, I guess, and
He
I
licks the
guess we'll
Bangkok
talk
lolly.
about I guess we'll talk about when we talk about like how like the futuristic imagery and stuff. We'll talk about all like the erotic imagery and stuff that's everywhere. But
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's part of it.
plastered everywhere in the movie.
Hmm.
Another thing, like that like sped up sex scene thing is a good example of like how like Kubrick like really masterfully handles like the tone in this movie. Because even though like we said it was like it's like a very disturbing movie, like it's not always that dark. Like there is a lot of comedy in Clockwork Orange, especially near the end of the movie, and it doesn't really feel that jarring at all. It feels very natural, and it could have gone disastrously like given another director or if it wasn't handled with enough care. But I think this movie does it perfectly, and it just plays out like so well.
Yeah, one of my favorite like dark humor moments is when it's not even that dark. It's just that I just find it funny just because of like Alex's reaction and the other character's performance is when
Mm-hmm.
um is when Alex has just been like beaten up by all the old people
Yeah.
after his treatment. And then two policemen come to see him, and then he looks up and it's the Droogs, and Dim is just like,
Yeah.
well, 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 welly, well,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just like he looks like just like the look on Alex's face is just like
Yeah.
amazing. It's so
And I'm pretty
funny.
sure that was like a callback to earlier in the movie too, right? Because like, um, when the Drews like come to visit Alex's like place of living or whatever, and discuss like they want to establish new regulations, so like Alex isn't as much of a cunt anymore, and Alex comes down the stairs and he's like, "Welly, well, what do we have here?" That sort of thing. And I like
Hi,
how
hi, hi,
you
hi,
can
my
tell
little
Dim sort of
droogies.
yeah.
Happy
And I like how you can
polynudgies.
tell Dim like picked that up from him or was like doing it in a mocking way, which is actually pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's great. And the fact that like they choose to just like basically like submerge him in water for a bit while like
Yeah.
hitting the shelf, and which is what he did to them earlier in the film
Yeah.
to like assert dominance.
Yeah. What goes around comes around. That's
Yeah,
basically what this
that's the
movie
whole
is.
like structure of the I think I mentioned earlier. That's the whole structure of the
Yeah.
film. Oh yeah, so going back to like yeah, the set design.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned like the limp dick like lollipops from like earlier.
Yeah.
Like A Clockwork Orange is supposed. I don't think the book is just set in the modern day, but I think to spice up like the film and like to make it more interesting and just to I think to like exaggerate the whole like evil like government thing. They made it
Hmm.
like set in like the near future,
Yeah.
and instead of going for like a utopia or like a post-apocalyptic world or like with loads of like technology and shit like most future films would do. Like
Yeah.
there's a film called Just Imagine from like 1930, which is pretty infamous
Uh-huh.
just because it's like set in a technological utopia with flying cars and like
Yeah.
food pills and stuff
Uh-huh.
and all that. And it's set in like the 80s, I think.
Oh
And that's just
wow.
yeah. And yeah, we're now 40 years removed from the 80s, and it's been 90 years since Just
Yeah.
Imagine, and yeah, we still don't have flying cars.
Yeah. Hasn't aged that well, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, so they make the future to be like more realistic, where it's just like the
Yeah.
present,
Grounded.
but it's the present, but just like a bit more,
Yeah.
but just like different, like a bit off
Yeah.
kilter.
And that led to the movie like aging a lot better than it would have if they made it if they leaned more way more into like the whole futuristic like utopia sort of thing. and instead do it more
Yeah.
subtly, which I feel like worked a lot better. And especially considering like the smaller budget they had, like it was probably the smarter thing to do anyway. Probably the easier thing to do as well.
And part of like the futuristic imagery is that there is basically like there is like erotica basically everywhere in the film.
Yeah. Uh huh.
Like it's just like a normal thing.
Yeah.
Like
Like
especially
it's not just
considering
Alex's
this was
house.
made in the 70s. Like especially
Yeah. Uh huh. It was very daring. Yeah, it's not just Alex's house that has all the erotica. Like you said, it's everywhere. Like the fucking fitness trainer's house has it.
oh my god,
Um,
full of it. There's the big
yeah,
penis
it's everywhere.
statue that like
The
rocks back and
penis
forth.
statue.
The big
I know.
penis. And they got the penis pads.
Like that scene where he kills her is like horrible and like everything, obviously, but like it is kind of funny. She dies with the penis statue. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah. It is
in a fucked up
like
way.
like yeah, it makes it I guess less disturbing, I guess.
Yeah,
The fact that she's killed with a big penis and also it flashes like paintings and stuff to
yeah,
symbolize like her
right.
getting smashed in
Yeah,
the
it doesn't
face.
actually. Yeah, this movie doesn't actually show like the murder or the rape. It's just implied, and usually the movie cuts before anything actually happens. It's just you see a build up, build up, build up, and then either cut or like you said, like something implying it, like the paintings.
Honestly, I think the content of this film is more. I mean, it's still really dark, but I think it's more tame than people give it credit for.
Yeah,
I think the film is just really great at like creating like suspense and making
yeah. Oh, for sure.
making you feel terrible.
Yeah, definitely. Like that whole sequence when fucking the Droogs are like going up to Mr. Alexander's house and you're just fucking praying to God they don't open the door and it builds up like this huge feeling of dread. And like you kind of know they're going to enter the house somehow. And when they do, it's just like your stomach drops. It's just so
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah, it's
disturbing.
terrifying.
Yeah. Like they don't even need to show the rape. Like that is enough on its own. Like it's more like a psychological thing, I guess, which is just really fucking poignant.
Yeah, speaking of like that scene, another thing that Kubrick is I think is like should get like more credit for is the way that he takes pre-existing music and basically changes the way we see it. He did that in like it was something he was doing before and he did afterwards as
Yeah,
well, where like in I guess this is a spoiler for Doctor Strangelove, but whatever. It's not really a spoiler. It's just something funny that happens
yeah,
at the end. Basically, it ends with like a bunch of like nukes dropping and We'll Meet Again is like playing, and that's how it
hmm
ends. It's pretty funny. And then
yeah,
and how like 2001 basically took a bunch of like orchestral like classical music and now that music is just like when people hear it they think of space now because of the film.
yeah. It's iconic.
In 2000 and a Clockwork Orange does does this with like Singing in the Rain, like taking like a really lovely happy song and just associating it with
Making it
like
disturbing.
rape.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so horrible.
Recontextualizing it entirely.
And now when I hear that I mean, I haven't seen Singing in the Rain. It is like it's something I'm gonna see like eventually. But I when I hear that song, I just think of like a Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, same here. Same here. Which I don't think was the original movie's
Oh yeah,
intention. You're not
no,
supposed to think of a rapist when
no.
you when you hear that song. But yeah, that's how like that's how much that scene kind of burned that into my head. Like that wholesome song just reminds me of like horrible things now.
Speaking of music, the soundtrack for this film I think is amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
Honestly, I
It's
think
really fucking good.
most of the time Kubrick is like Kubrick films have like pretty great like amazing soundtracks. I think A
Yeah.
Clockwork Orange isn't like no exception.
Yeah. Definitely.
Kubrick uses like a lot of classical music in his films. Like in basically all of his like films from 2001 to Eyes Wide Shut, he uses classical music except for Full Metal Jacket, but that's kind of different. But
Mm-hmm.
for all those films, he uses classical music. Actually, maybe not in The
Yeah.
Shining, unless you want to count like the song at the end.
Yeah, I don't recall much classical music in The Shining, honestly. I'd have to
I don't think there is
revisit it.
actually. But
No.
yeah, he uses a lot of classical music in his films, and but obviously because Clockwork Orange is a bit different, because it's a bit different. It's supposed to be set in the
Yeah.
future. They use like they take like classical music, um,
Yeah.
but like for some of the scenes, they have like a synthy like remix.
Yeah, they use synthesizers. Uh-huh. To make it sound more futuristic.
Yeah, and it sounds like fantastic. Even
Yeah.
even even just the generic like classical music they use is sounds like amazing. Even
Yeah.
when it's not all synthy.
Mm-hmm. And you think like you think the classical music like coupled with like the content of the movie would be like a jarring like combination, but it actually works like extremely well, especially at the beginning scene where like the Droogs are fighting like the rival gang, and like the classical music in the background is just popping off, and it's so one of the like silly goofy moments in the movie.
Yeah, I love that. I love that scene. I think yeah, it definitely helps that a lot of like the violence is like very goofy and extreme,
Yeah. Uh huh.
which makes like the classical music it makes it like really fit, honestly.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Oh yeah, and we haven't talked about like the dialogue in the film as well.
Oh, like the way they
Um,
talk.
yeah. Alex and his droogs talk in this type of English slang called nadsat, which basically mixes in Russian words and certain like Cockney
Yeah.
rhyming slang.
It is definitely an experience for your ears.
Oh yeah,
That much, and for your eyes if you have subtitles on. Yeah, I tried. After watching the movie, I did try reading the first page of the book, and let me just say, it was not a fun time. I felt like I had dyslexia. Like
you had a
the visuals
stroke.
of the movie did, yeah, the visuals of the movie did help like clarify things a little bit. Um, but yeah, the language used in this movie is like very off, very weird, but in a good way. I mean, it does add a lot of charm to the movie, and does make a lot of shit very funny. Like Eggy Weggs is literally the peak of comedy. Nothing has
Yeah.
ever been funnier than that.
Eggy Weggs was actually I actually found out when researching today. Um, Eggy Weggs, aka the whole name for this dumbass thing. Um, it isn't part of the original book.
Oh,
Um,
what?
uh, Basically Kubrick likes his actors to be involved in the creative process, and so Malcolm McDowell actually contributed a lot of iconic things about the movie. Actually, well, the only one
Yeah,
I can think of off the top of my head is that he was the one who had the idea for the the like inside out cricket outfits that they wear.
yeah,
Um,
right.
but also he came up with like a few like funny words for Alex to say, and one of them was Eggy Wigs.
What a
So
genius.
that was Malcolm McDowell's like doing.
Yeah.
He also came up with the name Delarge as well.
Oh, really?
He didn't have a last name in the book. He was just Alex.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so yeah,
That's
Malcolm
cool.
McDowell came up with the name Delarge, which is pretty cool.
He did improvise the whole singing in the rain thing too, right?
Yeah, that was improvised, and Kubrick loved it so much that
Yeah.
they like paid for like the rights to the song.
Uh huh.
And the whole scene where the nurse is showing Alex like images and he's supposed to like respond to them. That part was entirely improvised by Malcolm McDowell, which is how we
Oh
got Eggy
wow.
Wigs.
Yeah. You could tell he was like real. He knew his character like really well.
Oh yeah, and there's like he's done like tons of like interviews and stuff like since the since the film came out, even like 50 years later, and it's like very obvious that he like really loves the film and the book.
Yeah, that's
Like
great.
he's not just like some actor like being like, oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's so cool, yeah, so proud of what we made, yeah. Like he very clearly
Yeah,
understands like the film and like the book and
yeah, for sure.
like very thoroughly, and
Yeah, I
he's
love that.
clearly like very proud of what he's like part of, which is really cool.
Yeah, I love it when actors like actually give a fuck about the thing they're like acting in, or they're at least very knowledgeable of the movie and like understand it. They understand the script and the characters, and when they take that approach, like it really shows in their performance. Like it shines through when you can see the effort and um, their general knowledge of the script. It helps aid the quality of the movie like a ton.
Yeah, I think it helps that like Clockwork Orange is one of the first films he was in. I think
Yeah.
he was in his like mid 20s when he did it. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like yeah,
Actually.
considering it was like one of his like first films, that is like very impressive. And like
Yeah.
if was his first film, and he was
Yeah.
like he was the main character, and he was great in that film.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
For sure.
he was definitely very talented.
Yeah, actually understanding your script and your character goes a long way. You don't
Yeah,
have to do
imagine that.
shitty method acting, Jared Leto, you fucking dumbass, walking around in crutches on set or fucking mailing your coworkers dead rats or whatever. You don't have to do that shit. Just, I mean, to be fair to Jared Leto, those movies were pretty dog shit to begin with, but still, it would always pays off to know your characters when you're acting.
He
Always, it
he
is an empathetic job after all.
he hasn't really been in anything much like since, but
Yeah,
well not since, I mean like recently, but like he's like in his like 70s. It's like whatever.
yeah. Malcolm McDowell's getting old.
Yeah. Yeah. He most notably he was in he was in 2017 movie Grow House featuring Snoop Dogg. And he played he played the character like he was called like Doctor Doobie or something.
What the
It's a
fuck?
weed movie. Yeah,
Oh, that's
he
awesome. Malcolm McDowell smokes
he
weed.
played he played a character called Doctor Doobie. That's fantastic. Imagine getting Alex Lard for your
Alex
weed
DeLarge smokes weed.
movie.
What a great
Doctor
timeline we live
Doobie
in.
featuring Snoop Dogg in the same
Oh
movie.
my
It's
god.
fantastic.
Is the movie like okay?
Probably
Is the
not.
movie good?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Has a letterbox
I'm just
score of
wondering.
2.6.
I'm putting that on the watch list. I have to get around to that. That sounds awesome.
Hell yeah. Do that for like a movie
Dr.
moment or
Doobie.
something.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Grow House. All of the recent reviews of Grow House are like the same guy watching it over and over again.
Oh my god.
The three most recent reviews are this guy called Joshua, who watched it 3 times in a row
Oh my
and
god.
gave it a 6 out of 10 each time.
Oh wow. So he's not even a big fan of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Holy
watched
shit.
it 3 times in a row for some reason.
He just couldn't get enough of it. Couldn't get
Yeah.
enough of Malcolm McDowell and Snoop Dogg.
Despite giving it a 6, he just couldn't get enough of Doctor Doobie.
I wish Snoop Dogg was in the Clockwork Orange. I think that would have been awesome.
Yeah, that would have been cool actually if he was he alive.
I don't think so. He would have been like a zygote or some shit.
He was born the year the film came out.
Oh really?
Yeah, so
Bruh.
he would have been a
We could have
baby.
gone baby Snoop Dogg.
Yeah,
That
baby
would have been
Snoop.
awesome.
Baby Snoop in the film would have been awesome, honestly. Have him like chilling at the record store.
Blunt rotation.
Yeah, blunt rotation. He's part of the Droogs
Oh god.
when they're at the Korova Milk Bar function.
Oh yeah. Off topic. Well, sort of on topic. Not really. Um, the whole the Droogs being in a Space Jam thing is like
Oh god,
Next
yeah.
level dumbassery. That shit is so
Yeah.
fucked up. What were they thinking?
What were they thinking? Yeah, that's ridiculous, but like whatever. They probably the Droogs being in Space Jam 2 was probably just like the executives looked what characters do we have that we own? Oh, the Droogs. Let's put them in.
They didn't even watch. I don't even think they watched the movie.
They can't have these were like millionaire executives just jotting down. Okay, well, let's just put all these characters in that we own. It's because the
Cameos.
whole film's just a
People like A
circle.
Clockwork
The whole film's
Orange.
a circle jerk. Oh, Clockwork Orange. That's Stanley Kubrick. That's the Shining guy. He
Yeah,
made
people
films.
like
He made
him.
people like him put his characters.
Everyone knows his films are filmed for the whole family
Yeah,
and never
exactly.
disturbing it at all.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, fantastic. Great movie. A little bit better than Clockwork Orange, I'd say.
Yeah, I
Space Jam
agree.
2,
Space Jam 2. What a masterpiece, dude.
masterpiece.
Pinnacle cinema.
Mm,
Oh god.
yeah.
But yeah, it's a shame that a lot of people don't give Clockwork Orange a chance because of, all the disturbing shit that happens in the movie. I get it. It's just the people who say the people who say like the disturbing shit in the movie has no purpose. That's where I kind of disagree.
1 out of
If I'm being
10.
honest here.
Grrr.
Grr.
People
And
giving it a
then
1
and
out of
then
10
calling the people
because.
who like it, yeah, because of the
Yeah.
disturbing shit, and then calling the people who like it psychopaths. That's like next level dumbass.
I mean, yeah, I do get why it's like incredibly. Well, not incredibly, I guess, but like, it is Kubrick's most controversial film.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
by a long shot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and
It is. It's still got quite popular though.
I think the fact that it is like so popular and well known and so many people like consider it a masterpiece, I think that makes it more controversial. Like
Yeah.
the
Oh
people
yeah, for
who
sure.
like imagine like seeing this film and like not getting it and thinking this film's horrible, and then seeing that everyone thinks it's like a masterpiece
Yeah.
and thinking what the hell, what the
Then you just
fuck.
yeah, you're gonna be like
Yeah,
we live in you're gonna go society mode on everyone.
yeah, like Kubrick also made like Lolita, but like what like general audience person is gonna go in watching
Yeah.
Lolita?
Right. It's not one of his most popular
The
movies.
people
People kind of
watching
forget about it.
Lolita are gonna be the people who've read the book, or the people
Yeah.
who are already fans of Stanley Kubrick.
Right. And just want to go through the
Yeah,
rest of his discography.
people who
Yeah.
probably already like A Clockwork Orange.
Right.
Eggy Wegs.
Eggy Wags. I would like to smash them.
And pick 'em all up. And fucking now.
Oh yeah, I want to talk about the ending for this movie real quick.
Oh yeah,
It's
the
fucking
endings.
amazing.
I love the ending.
Probably like basically flawless. Like the way Clockwork Orange ends, it almost feels like Stanley Kubrick like taking the piss, but like in a good way.
Yeah,
Like
in a great way.
yeah, like just a huge fucking middle finger. Like Alex has learned absolutely fucking nothing
Yeah.
from this whole experience at all.
And yeah, because part of obviously it's about A Clockwork Orange is about free will, but it's also about like the prison system as well. And even after being in prison for 2 years, he learned absolutely nothing,
Yeah.
and he's just
No,
back
he
to his
just
old ways.
yeah. Like the obviously like the treatment didn't do shit. Like he just becomes physically ill, but mentally he still like desires all these horrible things. He
Yeah,
just can't act on it.
like when they're showing when he's on stage, like showing everyone, um, just to like show off like how the treatment works. Like he's still like when like the half naked woman shows up, he's still like
Yeah.
desperately trying to grab her tits before
Yeah.
like he starts like choking.
But he can't.
Yeah. I do love that part as well because like as soon as she like comes on stage, like the one of the most like more like underrated characters. I forgot his like actual name, but like he's like a He's like a prison guard, and he's like
Yeah.
shouting at, he's like screaming at Alex
Oh
the
yeah,
entire
he
movie.
fucking hates Alex. Yeah.
Yeah, and like as soon as he sees the half naked woman, he's just like his mouth is like gaping
Yeah.
open. It's so
Bro's
funny.
like salivating. Yeah.
Yeah,
I only noticed that on rewatch.
yeah. Nah, his character is yeah, Chief Guard.
It's
It
funny.
says, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chief
No,
Guard.
it's fucking hilarious.
His character's fantastic. And like a lot of the dialogue he has is like really funny as well. Like how
Hmm.
when Alex speaks first, he's like shut your beanhole. And then when Alex takes like a second too long to speak
Yeah.
up about something after he's been asked, he's like, answer him, god damn it! And when
But it's
like
kind of funny. Like, he's like the only like one of the only authority figures in the movie who like see through Alex's bullshit.
yeah, and there was really one funny line where really one really funny line where Alex is basically like signing over his free will, like on the
Yeah.
contract. He's basically signing over like his free will, and so Alex starts reading it, and he's like, "Don't read it, just sign it, god damn it!"
You're not allowed to read the contract, you fucking
Yeah,
dumbass.
it's so funny.
That part's great. He's a very
Mm.
underrated minor character. I feel like all the characters in this movie like serve some sort of purpose.
Yeah, even like yeah, smaller characters like the Doctor.
Yeah.
He's so well like cast and acted. Like
Uh
he's so
huh.
like he's so strange. You can he feels
Yeah.
like almost like rapey.
Yeah. And he's only like two scenes, right? Like I
Yeah.
think he's only like in two scenes,
He's
and he
in two
leaves such an
scenes.
impact.
He's in the scene in Alex's house and
Yeah.
after he's been arrested for killing the cat lady.
Yeah. And like he leaves
Yeah.
just such an impression on you.
Yeah. And the fact they got like a guy they got a guy who with like a wonky eye as well.
Yeah.
Just
Adds to
like for
like the
that just
weirdness
for
of his
that
character.
yeah, it adds it's like a tiny thing but it like adds so much.
Yeah. And then he
It's
just fucking
great.
spits in Alex's face, and it's just
Yeah.
so fucking disgusting.
I like his character is like really I always get like a terrible feeling from that cat.
I know.
I've like Alex and the Doctor like know each other like before the film
Yeah.
started. Like when he's in Alex's room, like
Uh huh.
it's not in Alex's. I think it's his mum's room actually, but um when he's like in Alex's house, it's clear that they've talked before.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like um he gives me like and I think Alex
He
is like
gives you the
17.
creeps.
Alex is like 17 at the start. He gives me
Yeah.
like massive like
He
pedo
is
pervert
way
vibes.
too. Yeah, he's way too touchy and like
Like it,
overstepping
like I get
boundaries.
the impression that they've like had a history.
Yeah, that would probably explain a lot, honestly.
Like he like touches Alex's dick and like punches him, and then
Yeah.
like and when he in the prison scene when he's like told when he's told that oh yeah you can beat the shit out of him, and he doesn't do that and instead decides to like spit on his face
Yeah, it's just so fucking. He's such a weirdo. He's
and
fucking.
like
He's basically a cartoon character. He's like
yeah
fucking Patrick Bateman.
and like Kubrick is like so meticulous about these kind of things. That must have been intentional. The fact that he like spits on
Oh
him
yeah, for
instead.
sure.
He's like told, "Oh yeah, you can beat the shit out of him," and he spits on him
He spits
instead.
on. Yeah,
He's so weird.
no. Kubrick is definitely. He pays like a lot of attention to detail, like a ridiculous amount. So I
Mm,
honestly would not be surprised if like that was his intention, just to make him a more
yeah,
weird character.
yeah. Another character I really like, even though he barely says, he barely even does anything or says anything. I really like Julian.
Oh, like
Like,
Mr. Alexander's bodyguard, right?
yeah, played
Yeah,
by David Prowse, Darth Vader.
pretty fucking awesome.
Um, yeah, and he was also like, he was also new to the film.
Yeah.
Mr. Alexander didn't have Julian in the book, but
Okay.
I think Kubrick realized when reading the book, like, okay, why doesn't Alex just walk out of the house afterwards? And so he added Julian to
Yeah.
like give Alex a reason to not want to leave
Yeah,
because this bodyguard could just rip him to shreds.
yeah, and he like the guy who plays him like actually well. Like there's a the scene where like Alex gets up and like tries to leave, and like you can literally see like Julian's fist like clench, which is just like great attention to
Yeah,
detail.
one of my favorite scenes. It's like it's both like very darkly funny and disturbing. Is that the whole scene where Alex is like eating a spaghetti
Yeah.
and he's offered the wine and he know it's so obvious that the wine has been spiked but
Uh
he
huh.
just has to drink it
Yeah.
and he's like putting it off for so long like sniffing it
I don't
looking at
know.
it
Fucking
and then
swishes it around,
and there's
checks the
just
bottle.
Julian to his left, this like huge man. He's like so buff and he's got no way out of it.
Yeah.
And there's just Mr. Alexander's like completely like furious on the right, and he's like
It's
his
so
acting
great.
is so like disturbing but kind of funny at the same time.
It's really funny. Like
Food,
the
all
scene is
right. Try the wine.
like the context is disturbing. Like this guy literally like Mr. Alexander finds out the guy he took in to take care of is the guy who like took everything from him basically.
Mm,
Like that's fucking dark. But the way the scene's executed, it actually is really funny. Like the way it's acted and like the dialogue as well is very like over the top and ridiculous. And it is like a nice kind of like breather in the movie, I guess, while still feeling like very tense.
yeah, I mean, it was actually inspired. Mr. Alexander, he's actually inspired by the writer of the original book. Because
Oh really?
in the A Clockwork Orange book, um, the thing that he's writing is the book A Clockwork Orange.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And it was inspired by I think in the 40s, his house was broken into by Nazis, and he was like beaten up, and his wife was like raped. I
God
think
damn.
I'd have to
Holy
look it up
shit.
again.
Yeah.
This is literally just what I remember from watching a YouTube video like a couple hours ago. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
his wife was raped, and they lost like a kid that she was pregnant
Oh my
with
god.
or something. Yeah, don't take it with a grain of salt. I'd have to look it up again. But yeah,
Yeah.
um, something like that happened, and so part of it was based on like his own experience.
Holy fuck. That's so depressing,
And I
man.
think, yeah, as depressing as that is, I think it is really cool that he took this like character based on himself that's like really sympathetic, and then turned him round,
Yeah.
gave him more layers, and turned him into like somewhat of like an antagonist in like the second half of the film.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the
Yeah.
book, I guess. I find that like
Mm-hmm.
so like genius.
Yeah. He's like a fully fleshed out character. It's really
Yeah,
fucking
he's not
cool.
just like someone to like feel sorry for. He has like he's a
Yeah.
political writer, and he wants to use in the second half. He like wants to use Alex,
Yeah.
and then
No,
he triggers like his
what are you gonna say?
PTSD when he
Yeah.
realizes who Alex is, and it completely transforms his what he wants to do. He no longer cares about his political like gain or benefits or helping this
Yeah.
poor guy. He just wants to
He just fucking wants revenge.
he just wants revenge.
Fair, honestly.
Yeah.
Can't blame the poor guy.
Yeah.
I like how literally, no exaggeration, like every single fucking thing, every single bad thing Alex did in the movie, like comes to bite him in the ass. Like not one fucking minor character is missed besides like, I don't know, like, uh, the gang, I guess, they don't come
The
back.
gang.
But like, the old
Oh
guy,
yeah, you mean the
yeah, the
rival gang,
rival,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, the rival gang that they fight in the beginning. But like, the Droogs, the old guy that they beat up,
Yeah.
um, fucking Mr. Alexander, like they all shit on him.
Mm,
They all shit all over him at the last third.
yeah.
It's just like painful to watch, but also like it's so weird because like this whole movie, you're like, oh man, I feel kind of bad for Alex, but then you're like, oh wait, no,
Yeah, it's
this he
also
kind of does
he also
deserve it.
kind of gets like it's also kind of like cathartic even though it is like
Yeah,
disturbing at the same time.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
then like
It's a mix of
at
emotions.
points, especially during like the Mr. Alexander part, it does get like a bit like far. Especially when like all this stuff
Yeah.
happens to Alex one after the other, and there's the stuff with his parents basically getting a new son and like having and his
Oh yeah.
he
Replacement.
finds out his snake died at the same time and like Joe, the guy who's living in
It's
his
so
room now,
horrible.
is like basically shitting on
Yeah.
him like the whole time while his mum's crying,
Yeah.
and his mum starts crying and he's like, oh, look what you've done to your poor mother.
Not your poor boy. I also found like Joe kind of looks like Alex too, which is kind of a cool like detail.
Hmm.
A little bit disturbing, but it's like he literally is like a replacement to Large,
Yeah,
which was interesting.
yeah,
His parents are kind of pretty shitty though, if I'm being honest here.
yeah. I mean, yeah, they're pretty like
Not like not straight up abusive, but just like neglectful.
yeah, they really like um don't do much to like take care of their son or like learn what they're
No,
doing.
no, they don't.
Like
Just like
there's like
irresponsible.
one scene near the start where they have like a conversation where it's like where they're wondering, oh yeah, what does where they explain that like Alex has told them that he does like work like odd jobs during the night, and they just like don't
Yeah,
question it.
yeah, they just fucking
Yeah,
believe him.
this like he has like this terrible excuse. Oh yeah, I'm doing jobs at the in the middle of the night, just like little odd jobs, helping people out, and they don't question it at all.
Yeah, yeah, they either believe him or like they're just too scared to like actually
Yeah,
find out, so they just don't do anything.
yeah. Eggy Wegg.
I would like to smash
I
him.
would like to smash him. So do you have like anything
I
else you
don't know
wanna
what else I
talk
want
about?
to.
Because
I, I don't.
I'm kind of.
I don't think
It's
so.
been an hour.
How long have we? Oh, okay.
It's been an hour.
Didn't feel like an
Yeah,
hour.
no,
That's
it
pretty good
didn't.
then.
Yeah, I feel like
All right.
it's been good.
Should we do like a closing statements thing or what?
Yeah, I'll just let's. I guess. Do you want to do a thing where we just like say like our ratings, like our overall like thoughts?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
You go first.
Yeah. So yeah, Clockwork Orange. It's like easily one of my as weird as it is to say about a film like this. It is like one of my favorite like films, like easily.
Yeah.
Like it's in like my top five, like probably like number two or three.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it is just it's so meticulous and like perfect and thought provoking and beautiful. I think it's just it's like almost perfect in basically every way,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
I get that.
And I'm already like a
It's
big fan of Kubrick, and this is just like I think
yeah.
this is his most like expressive and like thought provoking. Maybe not most thought provoking because 2001 is also like pretty um
Yeah.
thought
Pretty
provoking, pretty
dense.
dense. But like it's his most expressive film.
Mhm. Yeah, I'd say I agree. Um I don't I don't love it as much as you obviously, but I still think it's a really fantastic like masterfully crafted film and like objectively I can't find many flaws with it. It's just I guess it's just missing like that person like really personal connection that would like bump it up to a 10. Even though it's still like I acknowledge it's like a fantastic fucking movie and it's like super entertaining and thought provoking. So I'd still give it like a 9 out of 10. And definitely like in the upper half of like Kubrick's discography like from what I've seen.
I'd give it a 10. Um yeah, I like it. I only like 2001 more. In term not just
Yeah,
in
and that's like
terms
your
of
favorite
not
movie.
just in terms of Kubrick, but in terms of like films in general. I'd say
Yeah.
yeah, the only thing that beats it in my opinion is 2001. And I'd say yeah,
Mhm.
nothing really else comes close to 2000 to like A Clockwork Orange except for maybe like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Drug
It comes yeah,
movie.
drug movie. Woo! The Function movie.
No, I
That
agree.
movie comes pretty close for me. But yeah,
Space Odyssey is still my favorite Kubrick, and I do think it's like his best work. And
masterpiece.
as for Fear and Loathing, I don't know. I'm not sure if I like Fear and Loathing more than this movie. I still think I prefer Clockwork Orange, even though Fear and
Fear
Loathing is
and
really great.
Loathing is
But
like
yeah,
amazing, but it's it's not as like it's not you don't get that the vibe from Fear and Loathing that like it's like it doesn't have that like perfect vibe that
Iconic
Clockwork Orange
masterpiece.
has. Even
Yeah,
though Fear and Loathing is like pretty meticulous, it doesn't have that like perfect vibe.
yeah. And on the surface level, it's not meticulous for sure.
Yeah.
You kind of have to watch it again
Yeah,
to
you have
get
to
that
watch it like
feeling.
twice to get everything. Clockwork Orange, you can watch it once, and it's like, yeah, you
Yeah,
can still pick up on things on a second viewing.
yeah. But overall, good job, Cube Dick. We love you,
Yeah,
Cube Dick.
dumbass hasn't made a
Woo!
film in 20 years. Lazy ass.
What's he
Yeah,
doing? What's he doing? His last movie
yeah,
sucked.
stupid,
Sucks.
dumbass. Yeah, wow,
Fuck you. Fuck you,
stupid. Yeah,
Kubrick.
fuck you, idiot.
All right, guys. This is President Obama signing out. Insert the Obama mic drop gif right here.
Whoa. Okay, this is Diddy Gong. This is Diddy Gong. Um, banana slammer.
Diddy bong.
Dumbass.
Okay, that was pretty good.